What's up everyone, it's Anime Reviewer. Going to have a new video for you guys today, and my new video is actually going to be a review on two series, and they are Chaos Child and Kuzu no Honkai, otherwise known as Scum's Wish. I'm doing a review on both these shows. They both aired during the winter anime season, and I decided to do a review of these two shows, because I'm also part of a podcast called It's in Season, and these are the two shows that we collectively as a group decided to watch. And I also wanted to review the show as well for you guys here on my YouTube channel, but don't worry, I'm gonna leave link down below the links to the podcast, both via iTunes and also the website that you can watch it on as well. So be sure to check those out, since we'll be recording our last episode on the winter anime season actually this week, and it should be out later on this week. So yeah, be sure to check that out and subscribe to it via iTunes if you have an iPhone. But let's get started with this review, and I'm actually going to start with Chaos Child. Now, Chaos Child is basically the sequel to Chaos Head, and basically it takes place during October of 2015, 6 years after Chaos Head basically ended. And pretty much with Chaos Child, there's mysterious deaths that start happening called the New Generation Madness. And it basically surrounds this character by the name of Takeru and basically his group of friends who are trying to figure out the mystery as far as who is causing these mysterious deaths. Also, it's within the same world as the show Steins Gate, which I am a huge fan of. I love the show Steins Gate. Basically, collectively as a group, they're trying to figure out who's causing these mysterious murders, and along the way they start to unravel a lot of different mysteries, not only surrounding the killings themselves, but also Takeru, the main character, also finds out a lot about himself, and also the mysterious events following after a huge earthquake that took place in their town 6 years ago. Now, I'll be honest, when I first started watching this show, collectively as a group, we decided to watch this show. And I was very interested in it due to the fact that it was within the same world of Steins Gate. I had not seen Chaos Head, so I didn't know what to expect of this particular show. But I was greatly surprised. Although I will be honest, the beginning is kind of slow, to be honest. It can be kind of wordy as far as with the scientific evidence, and with a lot of different characters involved, it can get kind of boring to watch. But sometimes your patience is rewarded towards the end of the series, when everything just starts to unravel and you find out a lot about the mystery surrounding this particular character. Not only that, but the violence in the show is kind of gruesome, and I'll be honest, once you get to those violent parts, not to say I'm a violent individual, but once you get those violent parts, you know, your patience is kind of rewarded, because it's kind of like you get all this wordiness and scientificness about what's going on, and then all of a sudden you cut to like a murder scene, and then you're just like, oh, okay, like that was shocking. But overall, it is a great series. Now, do I think that you should watch Chaos Head before you watch Chaos Child? Yes and no. They always drift back to the mystery surrounding the main character in Chaos Head. So in a way, yes, you kind of do need to watch it, but you don't extremely have to, because I'll be honest, especially once it got to the end of the series, I started to realize I didn't need to watch Chaos Head to understand Chaos Child. But there were some things that were mentioned in Chaos Child that do talk about Chaos Head, the series, and you're just like, okay, maybe I do need to watch Chaos Head so I can extremely understand what's going on and understand these characters that they're discussing that were in Chaos Head that may not be in Chaos Child anymore. But overall, though, the series was great. As far as the music involved in the series, I didn't actually too much, listen. I listened to the music, but I didn't pay as much attention to it. I apologize, that's my phone. I didn't pay as much attention to the music as I probably should have, but I did greatly enjoy the opening and the ending theme song. I would advise anyone who is triggered or is not a huge fan of violence, you may not want to watch this show. It's not gruesome violence, but it can make you cringe if you're someone who doesn't like a whole lot of violence in their shows. One of the things that I had also discussed, and I talk about this also in the podcast, is that to me the show is very greatly reminds me of the show Elfen Lied, just because of the violence involved, but also about the mystery surrounding the entire show. And that's just what I myself thought. But definitely check out Chaos Child if you are a fan of shows that are very scientific. If you're not someone that's a huge fan of it, still give it a shot. I'll be completely honest, like I said before, the beginning was quite boring, just because it's kind of like they had to set up everything before they got to like the climax of it. And once again, your patience will be rewarded once you start watching the ending part of the show. The ending part of the show had me on the edge of my seat. I couldn't stop watching it. These were like maybe the last 4 episodes. So there's a total of 12 episodes involved in the show. So from episode maybe 8 to episode 12, I was completely hooked, because I was just like, I gotta figure out what happens next, what's going on. There's a lot of surprise killings as far as some of the characters that are killed, and you're just like, what? This is completely crazy. It's just a great show in general, but like I keep mentioning, you got to get past like maybe the first 6 or 7 episodes to really get to like the heart of the show. You can watch the show actually on Crunchyroll. It was airing on there. There's 12 total episodes in general. I know that if you do want to watch it dubbed, I know that Funimation has it simul-dubbed up to episode 9. Beyond that, they haven't yet put up episodes 10, 11, and 12 just yet, but they'll probably be up maybe within the next few weeks, maybe. So if you are a fan of the dub, go ahead and do that. I did watch episode 9 dubbed using Funimation simul dub, and it actually was pretty good. I have no complaints about it. So yeah, definitely check that out. If you do not have a subscription to Crunchyroll, you can watch it for free as long as it's 1 week after the show has aired. So you can probably watch episodes 1 through 11 currently, maybe episode 12, where you can use a subscription to watch it, but probably wait a little bit and then you'll be able to watch it as well and just binge watch the entire series. For Funimation Simul Dub, you do need to have an account with them to access the Simul Dub. It's like $5.99 a month, so it's not that bad. It's actually less than Netflix, so definitely get that, especially if you're an anime fan. Now, the next show I'm going to talk about is going to be Kuzu no Honkai, and that was also known as Scum's Wish. And this show greatly differed from Chaos Child. While Chaos Child was quite scientific, Scum's Wish was actually more of a romance drama kind of a show, and it was amazing. And this is coming from someone who is older, so I feel like this show dealt with a lot of older subjects or more mature subjects. So it is greatly reflective of a lot of relationships going on now in 2017. Basically, the show revolves around Hanabi and Mugi, who basically end up starting a romantic relationship with each other. And on the synopsis, it says, from the outside, everyone thinks they have the perfect relationship, but in reality, the two made a pact because they're actually in love with other people. Hanabi is in love with a gentleman by the name of Narumi, whom is a childhood friend and a neighbor of hers, and he actually becomes her homeroom teacher. But he ends up falling in love with Akane, who Mugi is actually in love with, and Akane was Mugi's middle school tutor, and so he's been in love with her. Now, Hanabi and Mugi cannot be with the people that they are in love with, so they decide to form a pact and be with each other, basically to cope with the loneliness of not being with the ones that they want. And kind of in a way, it kind of starts to become like a friends with benefits with them, because they're both just kind of living out their fantasies for whom they want to be with each other. Along the way, there's also more and more love triangles that pop up. So with Mugi, you have a young lady by the name of Noriko who wants to be called Mocha and is also in love with Mugi. And then of course with Hanabi, you have Etchan Sanai, whom is called Etchan during the series, and that is a young lady who is in love with Hanabi. So you also see that kind of love triangle also play out. Throughout the series, you see them all either get their heart broken, or in a way they gain some kind of strength that causes them to endure what's going on and kind of really learn a lot about themselves and about relationships. So that's why I say this is a mature series. It is kind of rated R just because there are some sexual acts that do happen during the show. They do not show as far as a lot of skin, but there is a lot of hinting at stuff that goes on, and just there is showing a little bit but not a whole lot. So definitely, if you're someone who's not a huge fan of sexual acts in your anime, definitely probably don't check this out, because you probably won't like it. Sorry, my nose keeps running, I apologize. But overall, the series was actually really good, and it hit home for me because of the fact of what it dealt with these relationships, and a lot of the subjects that came up. With Akane, you had someone who was a very confident, or came off as a very confident woman, but she used her sexuality a lot to get the guys that she wanted. And in a way, many of us as females can know of a girl who uses her sexuality in this way to get what she wants, but she also knows how to use it to get what she wants. So she's not being used as strictly just strictly for her body, which is something that Hanabi, the main female lead in the show, is still trying to come to terms with. She doesn't understand how to use her body as a way to get what she wants, but which in terms makes her only used for her body as an object. Then with Akane, of course, you start to see towards the end of the series, you start to see her kind of unravel, and you start to see her more as a human being, and you kind of start to understand where she's coming from and why she uses her body the way she does. With Hanabi, towards the end, you start to see her come more into her own and start to recognize the things that she does and does not need, and seeing her, walk away from kind of everything. So I apologize because there's kind of some spoilers in this review, and I didn't think I was going to do spoilers because it's kind of hard not to, especially with Kuzu no Honkai. It's very hard not to do spoilers because there's so much emotion involved in this show. But overall, it's definitely a show that is very greatly related to how most relationships go on in 2017 now. It's no more of the, oh, you're my boyfriend, you're my girlfriend, that's it. There's so much drama involved around it, whether it's you like someone that doesn't like you back, and then you're just like, well, if I can just have this person for one night, that's enough. But in reality, that's never going to be enough, because now that you've gotten this person, now that person is now stuck in your head, and there's no way to actually make them to go away. Or even just finding the strength of, if someone is using you and you know that they are having that strength to walk away from it all and just going, I just need to work on me, I need this for myself, and it's not you, it's me, I guess is a great way for me to put it. But it's kind of not like that when the other person knows that they're using you. So yeah, if you're of an older age group, definitely check this show out, and you'll probably greatly relate to it, because I related to it so much. And this is because of the fact I am 26. I've gone through a lot over the past few years, so I understand where most of the feelings are coming from, and in some way you probably also might relate to some of the characters. I know for me, I relate to Hanabi a lot, because Hanabi in a way was also comparing herself to Akane, Mugi's crush, because of what she was doing and trying to figure out how to do that herself, but also having to learn along the way that you can't be like everybody else, because the result that they might have gotten, you're probably not going to get. Not only that, but Akane is a great way to realize just how girls can use their bodies to get what they want, and how some girls are quite good at it and some girls are not. But yeah, if you haven't already, check out Scum's Wish. It is 12 episodes long. Surprisingly, no anime company got a hold of this show. Amazon actually was the one that got a hold of it, and you can only watch it if you have Amazon Prime. So for those of you guys who do not have Amazon Prime, there's only one of two ways to actually watch it at this point, and that's either to get Amazon Prime, or ask your parents about Amazon Prime, or to look at other resources of watching the show. And I hate to say that, because I'm a huge advocate for basically trying to watch a show as legally as possible to give back to the anime community and to give back to the anime genre in general and the anime companies in general. But this was one show that was very difficult even for me to try and watch, because I do not have Amazon Prime. But once again, check out this show if you haven't already. It was a great show. I know it's the show that's been talked about all season long for the winter anime season, and like I said before, it is wonderful. The music was great. I love the opening and ending songs. I love visually how it was. It was like that muted kind of color scheme. It also makes me want to go and read the manga so much now. But yes, definitely check out both of these shows. If you're someone who's hugely into science and likes those scientific and murder mysteries, check out Chaos Child. If you're someone like me who's a huge fan of like romance and drama, and with this one, mature drama, and it's not like that kiddie shoujo drama, and you're a huge fan of that, definitely check out Scum's Wish, because you will not be disappointed. And at the end of it, I'll be honest, I was very happy with the ending, because the ending was everything I thought it was going to be. Actually kind of surprised me, because it ended in a way that wasn't typical of most shoujo shows or most romance anime shows, and I was so happy about it. And as a woman, it made you feel so empowered to see her make a decision, and the decision that she ended up making. And even though she was upset at the decision that she made, and she has to deal with it and understand why she made that decision, it was a wonderful decision to make. And also to see all the other women in the show also become empowered along the way of this series, and that's just why I love it. All right, you guys, so that is my review on both Chaos Child and Chaos Head, and Chaos Child and Scum's Wish. So yeah, like I said before, if you haven't seen these series, definitely check them out. They're both finished airing currently, so you can binge watch them. They're 12 episodes, so both of them are 12 episodes, so you should be able to finish them in one day, if not maybe two. So yeah, and like always, we're gonna be recording for the podcast this week, and we're going to record for the podcast this week, so it's going to be talking about the last few episodes of Chaos Child and also Scum's Wish, and that should be out probably later on this week, but I'll leave a link down below so you can check out the previous episodes that we have for this podcast and subscribe to it, and so you can check us out, because we're also going to be doing the spring anime season as well, and trying to decide the shows that we're going to watch for that. All right, you guys, thanks so much, and like always, strive for your dreams, because you never know what's going to happen. Like, you never really know, actually. Also, like always, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. The subscribe button is going to be down below, and also click that little blue bell down there so that you can be notified whenever I post new videos, which are on every Wednesday and every Saturday. All right, you guys, thanks so much, and I'll have a new video out for you guys soon, and bye.